The Vatican City, or officially this, which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, but translated it means the Italian state of the Vatican City, is often regarded as the quirkiest sovereign nation down from its tiny size to the police that guards it. What essentially the Vatican is just every normal country, but shrink down by a lot. And the main governing power is the church. It has also have everything a nation that would have, like the law, passports, post office, stamps, license plates, the aforementioned police, and etc. So how did the Vatican possess such little territory? Short story will be history, and the long story is a mass jimmy jumble of the history of the church and Italy, which is too complicated for even me to understand, so I'm here to present the medium story. For this, we'll have to go back to a time when this thing called the Papal State existed. The Papal State is like essentially a country that is run by the popes, which cover most of northern to mid-Italy during a heck of a long time, specifically 745 to 1870. And during this 1,000-year reign, the Pope decided to construct one of the largest churches called the St. Peter's Basilica on top of a hill called the Vatican, where apparently St. Peter himself stood. Then proceeded to surround the hill with a wall. But then the Italian kingdom happened, and the Papal States were gone. So, the Pope, on the other hand, fled behind the Vatican walls for safety as the state went down in ruins, and refused to acknowledge the existence of the Kingdom of Italy. While the Pope was behind the wall, he also complained about being a prisoner of the Italian kingdom, a prisoner of the Vatican, and yada yada. Rather than risking another holy war, the punishment due, the Kingdom of Italy assumed that the Pope would get tired of staying behind the wall and eventually one day acknowledge the sovereignty of the kingdom, so they waited. And boy did they wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 popes, and 60 years later, the Pope was still there. Okay, maybe not the same one, but under the same stance. But then Mussolini happened, but not this one yet. Mussolini was still the prime minister of Italy when he got fed up with the Pope complaining about being a prisoner of Italy, and decided that he can fix it by proposing a treaty known as the Lateran Treaty. The treaty essentially granted the Vatican sovereignty and the money for the lost land, so like an apology money, and in turn, the Pope had to acknowledge the Kingdom of Italy existed, and that they have to stay neutral during politics and war. Yes, nonetheless, the treaty was signed and the Vatican is now a country. Now that you're all caught up with the history, it's time for me to explain to you viewers about how this mind-boggling country of the Vatican works. There are 4 major things we'll need to understand. First, we have the Holy See, which is basically the government of the Catholic Church and the Vatican. Specifically, when referring to a Holy See, it is often referred as the throne that the Pope or the Bishop of Rome sits on. It operates as the framework of the Vatican City. If this is confusing, you can think of the Holy See as the Catholic Church Incorporated, or company, and the Pope is the CEO of the company. Second, the Pope. The general politics and the governance of the Vatican City are undertaken by the head of the Catholic Church, the Pope. The Pope is the head of the Vatican government and is in charge of the Vatican's wealth. But the Pope exercises as ex officio supreme legislative, executive, and judicial power over the state of the Vatican. And as you may know, he is also the Pope, so he got his religious duties he'll need to attend to. Number 3, the Vatican King. The King of the Vatican City has absolute power in the city. This means he could do whatever he wants in the walls of the Vatican. This also implies that he is an absolute monarch and the Vatican City is an absolute monarchy, which means that it can't be inducted into the EU because of that death to all but democracy thing and hell democracy. But strictly speaking, the Vatican does have a democratic legislative council run by a bunch of cardinals, but the king could overturn any decisions made there. And he could also make decisions at any time at his will without approval. And the Pope is also the king. So yeah, welcome to the root of the confusion, I guess. And let me clarify for any of you that are still confused. The monarch of the Vatican is the Pope, aka the King. And lastly, we have the actual country of the Vatican. In very simple words, it is the hill called the Vatican, basically the land, where the Pope rules, so it's some sort of governing power over the land, and that's the country of the Vatican. And if you mash all these things together, you'll get an incredibly confusing, tangled mess of strings of the state, or entity, or thing called the Vatican, which the UN also seems to have trouble getting straight, as the Holy See is a registered member of the UN, but not the actual country of the Vatican. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and yes, this took a bit longer than expected, as now I have evolved into Confucius. Anyways, do the normal protocol, like, dislike, and stuff. Bye!